Good morning. I have just been dropped off where I started my slack pack yesterday. I had an incredible stay at the Lost and Found hostel. It is one of my favorites. It was clean, organized, well run, and probably had the most comfortable bunks I've ever slept in. I really would have loved to have stayed another day just to rest if I had all the time and money in the world, but I just feel like I need to press on. I am more than ready to be done. They said that usually from this point on, it takes about 2 more months to finish if you don't overdo it on the zeros. And that sounds like a long time. It's not that I am not enjoying myself, it's just that I feel that my body is starting to break down, and I know I've got the worst of it ahead of me, the hardest, and I just, the closer you get, the more you worry that something's going to happen and you're not going to finish. So I just want to get it done. The guy there said my pack felt heavy to him. He lifted my pack out of the back of the car the first night I got there. Boy, was I grateful, because I was spent. And he said it seemed heavy. I was carrying extra fuel again. That was when I wasn't expecting it to be so hard on that 21 mile day. So I left that behind. And I only have 1 or 2 days worth of food. So I don't know why it's feeling so heavy. I'm also questioning their scale. Another guy said that when he weighed, it was all over the place. And I weighed several more times and it was all over the place. So I'm hoping that 108.4 was wrong. Anyway, I am tentatively planning a 14-mile day. There is a shelter at about that point. If I can get water, I'm going to stay at a shelter that has a fantastic view of the New York skyline. But we'll see. The route to get there is a little iffy. I think they have rerouted the AT. So you have to take an alternative route to get there. So we'll see what happens. I'm not feeling as good today as I felt yesterday. So if I stop early, I stop early. I just have to be into Fort Montgomery early enough tomorrow to pick up my package. I slept in this morning. Usually I wake up about 4 or 5. I sort of freaked out when I woke up and saw that it was 5:45 because coffee starts at 6 and breakfast soon after that. We had planned to leave the hostel at 7. I got on the trail at about maybe 7:20. It's sprinkling a little bit, and I think we're supposed to have some rain today. I don't know how bad it's supposed to be. So we'll see. Anyway, I think it's starting up a little bit heavier. And I'm going uphill, so I am going to put this phone away. Apparently that was just a sprinkle. No more rain since then. I had a pretty big climb up out of where they dropped me off. I'm going downhill now. Feeling very shaky, and I have no idea why. This morning Our hosts, Pete and Mary, they were incredible. Again, huge fruit plate of every fruit you could imagine. Scrambled eggs, lots of them. Bacon was about 3 pieces of thick cut bacon. Breakfast potatoes, toast, and blueberry pancakes. And I had some of everything. I even had a blueberry pancake. So I have no idea why I'm feeling so shaky. It is hot and muggy today. But thankfully it's overcast. And just not feeling the way I want to feel today. I don't know what's up with that. I feel very tired. And I don't even know how many miles I've gone. But the guy who did this part yesterday said it was not too difficult. He did, I think, around 17 or 19 miles. I did about 12 on my slack pack. And it felt like a full, hard day, even with that slack pack. We had a very good group at the hostel. The hostel held 6, which I think was just about the right amount. And there were some older guys there. And there were some younger ones there also. And I don't know if they have YouTube channels or not. I met Aquaman, that Crown 1, who I think he said he was the first person on the trail signed up on January 1st. Got there right when it opened, and he has just taken his time. I met Flamethrower, who started her through hike last year, and is finishing it up this year. I think Aquaman is doing the same thing, but he started in the fall, so he will finish within a year. And I met Treebeard, who I think might have been from England. I met Phaedrus. And I heard the most interesting trail story I have heard ever from Old Soul. She is 31, but she's got a gray streak in the front of her hair. So that's how she got her name. And she has done the PCT, a good chunk of the CDT, and is doing the AT for her second time. So she sat down for a break, early Virginia, and this friendly skunk came up. She thought, that's strange. She kind of nudged it away with her trekking pole. Well, she got ready to leave and had gone a pretty far way down the trail and looked back, and here's the skunk following her. So it attacked her and it bit her. And it turns out that they determined, based on the behavior of the skunk, that it was rabid. And she had to go through a treatment of about 2 weeks for rabies. But the craziest part is that she had to kill that skunk with its trekking poles to get it to stop attacking her. And then she had a stuff sack, and she put that skunk in the stuff sack and carried it with her to the hospital or emergency clinic in case they wanted to test it. But it had been more than 2 hours since it died, so they couldn't test it. But she said even though it didn't spray her from the back end, she smelled like skunk. And when she got to the hospital, they had something for her to take a shower in, which she said helped a lot. And anyway, I just thought that was the craziest story I've ever heard. But just telling y'all so you can watch out for those rabid skunks out there. And I guess that's it for now. This is the lemon squeezer. It gets more and more narrow. At the end, some people have to take their packs off and lift them up, and I'm gonna have to put the phone away. I did have to take my pack off. That climb up out of the lemon squeezer was tough. I don't know how I did it the other 2 times. There was a couple that came up there while I was trying to get up there. It was almost straight up, hanging onto rocks. And he went up first, and then after he got up, he took her pack and her trekking poles, and they did that for me. If they had not done that for me, I might have had to blue blaze. I've never blue blazed, but I made it up without my pack. So yesterday, this couple helped me when I got lost. Yesterday when I was slack packing, there was one point at which I was going north again. I went down a blue blaze, realized my mistake. When I got back to the white blaze, I went the wrong direction. And this couple helped me down the way when I got lost again. And so they were there today, and I passed them this morning. I said, hey, it's my saviors. And sure enough, later when I got to this rock face, they saved me again. And I'm so grateful. That was the clap and whim. Whim as in on a whim, and the clap, he was clapping to scare a bear, and somebody gave him the funny name of the clap. So anyway, I was very grateful for them. Grateful I didn't have to blue blaze. It was tough. This is not for the faint of heart, and it is not a quote-unquote footpath all the time. So, onward I go. The trail has felt familiar to me up until I got out of Pennsylvania. Ever since then, everything feels unfamiliar. And I'm not sure why, but I do know it was around this time, around New Jersey last time, where I started feeling really tired. On my first hike, I don't know when I started feeling so tired, but I remember when I stayed at Mosey's place in 2018, I wanted to stay and rest. I was quite a bit further behind than I am now. She said, you need to go, really, you need to go, don't get sucked in here. So I went on, but that's why I remember I was feeling so tired. And then I got to Connecticut and got tested for tick disease. It came back positive for Ehrlichia. So maybe I had it as far back as New Jersey, I don't know. 793 miles to Mount Katahdin. did 14.4 today. I got to a crossroads, had not seen any water, and I knew I had to camp and I needed water. And they have made a detour around a very busy highway, and there was no water on that detour. So I took the old trail, which took you across the road. I think it's the Palisades Parkway, I'm not sure, but it really wasn't that bad. And I passed one stream where the water looked brown, and I kept going, and there was another, I guess it was a spring that was a stream, and it was not flowing real strongly, but I was able to put my Ziploc under there and get plenty of clear, cool water. I was so grateful for that. I got 3 liters, continued on up the old trail, and I am at the last shelter before Fort Montgomery, and I had to hike 5 miles, but it wasn't just 5 miles. There were rock scrambles to get up here. It was really crazy, and supposedly there is supposed to be a good view of the New York skyline, but it's just too smoggy or hazy or something. You can't see anything. You can see the Hudson River, but there's another hiker here named Greyhound. I had met him at Mosey's, and so far it's just me and him, and I had supper up at the shelter with him. And now I'm in my tent and I am dripping sweat. It is so hot. I think it's close to 90. But tomorrow I will go into Fort Montgomery and pick up my box at the post office before it closes, because tomorrow is Saturday, and then I will continue on. And in the past I've camped at the Graymore Spiritual Center, which I think, I don't know if it's a monastery or what, but they've got a baseball field where they've let hikers camp at since the 1970s, and there is a cold water shower and a spigot, a nicely mowed baseball field, and porta potties. So it will be a little bit of a shorter day. I think it's going to be around 13 or 14 again, but that's my plan for now. I think there is also a convenience store between Fort Montgomery and this Graymore Spiritual Center too, so I'll look forward to that. Today was hard. It was hot and muggy, and the trail itself was not difficult. The old trail where I went to get to this shelter, there was a big climb up with that 3 liters of water, so that was kind of difficult. But no, there was a difficult climb today. It was the lemon squeezer. I had remembered the lemon squeezer part, but right after that there is like a straight up climb. If you're tall, it's probably not that bad, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. And then a couple came up behind me, and I watched them go up, and he went up first, and then she went up, and he took her back for her. And then when they got up, they lifted my pack up there, so I didn't have to climb it without my pack, and it made such a difference. I was so grateful to them. And that was probably the worst climb of the day. And then this climb up to the shelter, and then the 0.5, half a mile to get to the shelter that had rock scrambles. Anyway, I'm tired, I'm hot, I'm dripping sweat, and I am ready to just lie down and read. I've been doing a lot of thinking today about how I can lighten my pack. I'm thinking I'm going to have to send my Kindle home. I'm thinking I'm going to have to let go of this alcohol stove and use a canister stove. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to send that thermos back, but that's all up in the air right now. But it was on my mind a lot today. So I guess I am going to say goodnight. And this is Rebound, signing out.